Is that it? That's the new thing? All right, we'll call this meeting to order. 7 o'clock, Tuesday, January 21st. I'd like to welcome everybody tonight. Thank you for being here. Call on Pastor Jeff Pennington from Smyrna First Baptist for our invocation and pledge. All please rise.
That you have given us and blessed us with. For our new mayor, Lord, we thank you for him and many new council members. We just pray that you will just grant them wisdom as they fulfill their responsibilities here tonight. We just thank you so much for their leadership and ask your continued blessing on our city. And in Christ's name we pray. Amen. Well, attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor, for being with us tonight. Item 2 is agenda changes. We don't have any. I think there's a couple items that'll be tabled later, but we'll do that when we get to them. Item 3 is the mayoral report. I've got a few items on there tonight, the first of which is the Smyrna Police Department recognition of citizens and businesses who have been helpful for public safety initiatives. And I'm going to call up Chief Lee and Lewis Defense to make some recognitions.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Over the past year, we had a lot of businesses and citizens that helped us engage the community. And as the year was winding down, I had a conversation with Chief, and we decided that we wanted to start a tradition of recognizing those businesses and great citizens. So with that being said, with your permission, we would like to first recognize Barb McWeethy and Ramona Curtis. Come on up. McCary. This past year, we hosted a birthday party for Ty Kleiner. He's a special needs kid, and our Lieutenant Brandy Foreman, she bakes cake. She had baked the cake for him, and we sought the community's help with putting on this great birthday party. And these two outstanding citizens volunteered their time to really help us make that day special for Ty. So we thank you for helping us make that possible.
You're welcome.
That was an awesome event. Thank y'all for helping.
Thank you.
Hey, you get the picture with the chief. That's the man right there.
Please.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Kelly. Next, we have Finn Kelly. Finn's here with his family today. Finn's a young guy, but Finn raised money in his neighborhood. Councilman Go, I believe he lives in your ward. Yes. And he raised a lot of money, and he came to the Smyrna Police Department and made the donation for us to continue our community engagement outreach. And we are very appreciative of his actions. So thank you. Gotta get the thumbs up.
There you go. Finn and his... I saw Finn and his siblings before looking up at the screen and watching themselves on it.
Next, we have Gabrielle Tobin. Come on up, Gabby. We call her Gabby. Gabby lives in Mr. Councilman Wheaton's ward. And Gabby, what she did, she raised $4,000 and got together over 40 volunteers. And then what she did, she donated that money to the Lindley Middle School kids. This is just a superstar right here. I don't know much more that I can say about her, but she is an outstanding young lady, and she lives down in the Vinus Estates neighborhood. Oh, she also had an article that was published, and Councilman Wheaton is going to talk about that here in a second.
So I got the privilege, I got an email from her mother with an article that was written, that was published, her first publication in Young Mensa magazine. And if Mensa sounds familiar, those are the exceptionally gifted folks, so that's outstanding. And it's a beautiful, beautiful article that makes the connection of mathematics and this passion that she has. It's titled How I Found Inspiration Through Multiplication, and the ability to really multiply your efforts and the good that you can do through doing so. It's a really tremendous article. I really appreciated getting it. It brightened my day for sure. So congratulations on that as well.
I think you said you wanted to have a couple of words.
Oh, yes. So first of all, I would like to thank God and my parents for inspiring me to do this project of raising $4,000 and giving giving 40 tutors to Lindley 6th Grade Academy. And without them, I probably wouldn't be here right now. And then I would also like to thank Sergeant Defense for also encouraging me to push the limits, and also my parents really also have, I already said that, but I would like to also really thank my parents for really inspiring me to push the limits and go all out on this birthday party that I threw for my 13th birthday to donate $4,000. That's the highest I've ever donated ever. So thank you.
Next, we have J. Barrett Carter. Mr. Carter, come on up. Mr. Carter here is a competition cook, and that's a strong word. And he routinely makes the best brisket probably here in Cobb County, that he cooks on his green egg, and he feeds the men and women during the day or during any type of holiday seasons at the police department. He spends his own money, and he spends his time trying to help us out to make sure that we're well fed throughout the day.
As you can tell, we're well fed.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, sir. Next, we want to recognize some of the businesses that made some of our endeavors possible. We have Thompson Brothers here today. Come on up. Thompson Brothers is my usual go-to vendor when I need high-quality food and to feed a lot of people. And even in the last minute, they never tell me no. They always make sure it happens. So we want to say we're appreciative, and we thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone here from United Distributors? All right. He's running a little late? Okay. How about Olive Garden? Come on up. Olive Garden is another vendor. We hosted a Southeast Regional Fraud Training event where we had state, local, and federal law enforcement officers that were attending our facility. And the Olive Garden was very generous when they helped feed everyone at that training conference that we had. So we wanted to make sure that we recognize you and say thank you for helping us out during that training event that we had.
Absolutely. You see the face there, too.
Yes, yes. And last but not least, Northwest Exterminating. Where are you guys? Right here. Oh, come on up, guys. Northwest Exterminating, they have a community relations team as well. And throughout the year, on several different occasions, they've come, They've brought their large barbecue pit and cooked hamburgers, hot dogs, and everything for us. And they have just been an outstanding community partner, even down to when we hosted our event at SunTrust Park. I was out in the parking lot, and like the whole business was like, "Hey, Lewis, we want to buy one of these cool shirts." So we thank you for always supporting us.
Thank you.
And that's everything that we have.
Very good.
Thank you, guys.
I know it sounds like we do nothing but eat, but I assure you, that's not the case. But once again, we thank them. Having these kind of partners sure makes our job easier. It brings a lot of great morale and esprit de corps within the police department as well. But thank you all very much.
Really appreciate really appreciate your involvement and your support of Smyrna Public Safety and being an example for the community. Thank you so much. Next item, item B, recognition of Juliet and Nicholas McKinley. Y'all here? Come on up. So I'm going to read a little bit about the McKinley twins and what they've done in the 4-H program, and then let them speak a little bit and talk about what they've been doing. These twins have been in 4-H since they were in the 4th grade at King Springs Elementary School. At the State 4-H Fall Forum, Juliet and Nicholas were chosen to represent Georgia at the National 4-H Conference in Washington, D.C. Along with representing Georgia, they will each receive their second master. Mastering is a 4-H, in 4-H is the equivalent of an Eagle Scout in Boy Scouts or a Gold Star in Girl Scouts. You have to achieve the highest level of leadership and service, but you also have to place first in the state in any given category. Juliet mastered in 4-H Project Achievement, winning first place at the state level in the horse category in 2018, and Nicholas mastered in 2019, winning Project Achievement in engineering. So that is amazing that you all have done that together. Talk a little bit about it and help us recognize you.
All righty. So first of all, 4-H is just a youth leadership program which helps kids with public speaking and also leadership. So as you said, my sister and I were selected out of 38 to represent Georgia. Again, I mastered in engineering, Juliet mastered in
Horse.
Yeah. So we were selected out of 38 to go represent the state of Georgia, where we'll be given a topic that could be with gun violence or something, and then we'll take it and we'll have to give a presentation or speech about it in Congress.
So usually there are large topics. Sometimes it's on global warming or current events. Wow, for our different projects that we had to do with our interview, mine was more focused on art, where it was using art to combat depression and anxiety and other disorders with today's youth and today's seniors. While Nicholas's,
I taught low-cost STEM classes with kids who had disabilities. So.
Wow. That's unbelievable to have even one student make it all the way through, all the way to the top, but have twins do it and be from Smyrna. That's pretty awesome. I mean, give a hand to them. Congratulations, y'all.
we're also the first brother and sister.
Yeah, they mentioned that when they
Y'all
did.
come up here. Let's get a picture. Let's come on around that side. All right, next on the agenda is item 3C, Smyrna Education Foundation report and check presentation from JRM Management. Is Smyrna Education Foundation here? Come on up.
Good evening. That's a tough act to follow. But we try to help as many of the students in Smyrna as possible. But it's amazing to see what they can all do. So just kind of makes our point even more. I'm Kathy Young. I'm on the board of the Smyrna Education Foundation. It's nice to see you all, and I hope to meet in person those of you who I haven't yet. I have two other board members here with me, Barb Allen and Jennifer Bennett, and then Bill Watson with JRM. We'll do a little check presentation, which is something we actually have already received. We're very grateful for, and I'll touch on that in a minute. So thank you again for your time. We always look forward to coming here and giving some highlights from the past year. We're going to give out folders. Thank you. And Tammy, we'll get you electronic versions of everything. So, but what you'll find in your folder is our year in review for 2019, just some highlights to touch on what we're doing as an organization, and I'll highlight a few of those items here in a second. You also have a map of all of the schools that we support. There are 12 schools, which are essentially Campbell High School and its feeder schools. But we found over the years that not everyone knows where these schools are. They don't maybe go drive past them every day, and we want everyone to have an opportunity to see our schools, engage in our schools, and this map, which was produced with the help of a pro bono design resident who focuses on design professionally last year. So we included that for you as well. It's on our website. Most of our information is all on our website as well. We also included two articles. One is a full-page ad from the Bright Side that appeared this past year that highlights Campbell High School's achievements. And it's very small because they had a lot of them. So if you can read through those bullets, if you haven't seen it before, we encourage you to do so. And then the final piece that we include this year is a Cobb in Focus magazine article, which they were kind enough to reach out to us and highlight our organization and what some of the schools are doing and what some of their needs and opportunities are. So very quickly, just because I know you need to continue on, but what we wanted to mention is that this past year was our 9th full year of service. Smyrna Education Foundation was formed in 2010, and we are a nonprofit. We began giving out grants to individual schools as part of an application process that we do annually. So this year we gave out over $11,000, and that brought our total from the grant process to over $90,000 over the course of those years. And the grants cover everything from Learning Commons updates to STEM, robotics kits. Really what we're trying to do is be a resource for the principals, but we do have a process that helps us identify the best way to make the most impact in each of the schools. And we are only able to do this because of our generous supporters. And again, JRM is one of our stalwart supporters. We have several in the community, but we really wanted to highlight them because this past December, in a crunch when we were getting ready to decide, how much money we had to give out and everything, we said, is it possible you'd renew your gift again a little early? So we don't actually have a check today because they gave us $10,000 in December to make all that happen. And this is a wonderful and generous reflection of their commitment to our community, so we just wanted to highlight them. But we do have other supporters and sponsors, and that's available on our website, individuals as well. We never want to compete with our schools for their fundraising. We always encourage businesses and individuals to first see what they can do in their school or schools, and then if they feel like the best thing that they can do is to give us a financial bonus, then we will make sure that gets back out to all the schools through our grant program. So if you have any additional questions, I'm always happy to meet with any of you. Our card is in there and the email goes to me. But any of our board members, which we have 9 and 3 now advisory council representatives as well, we're more than happy to sit down or help you connect with a school in particular or address an issue if we can be of any service. So once again, thank you all so much. Before we do the photo, I just wanted to again say we appreciate this and let us know if we can be of any help. And if you have any questions, happy to answer those as well.
We just appreciate all you do, and JRM has been a great partner with the city for many years, and appreciate your commitment to our schools.
All right.
Ready? Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item D is the mayor's assignment of council committees. I have 3 committees I'm going to appoint today. Committee on Appeals, which deals with personnel issues. Travis Lindley will be the chair. Councilman Pickens and Councilman Wagner will serve on that committee. Education Committee, Tim Gould will continue to be the chair. Councilman Wheaton and Councilwoman Wilkinson will be on that committee. And Special Committee on Budget, Corky Welch will be the chair. Tim Gould and Travis Lindley will serve on that committee. All right, item 4 is land issues, zonings, annexations. Item A, 2019-363, zoning request from R20 to R12, conditional for the development of 38-unit subdivision at 2.99 units per acre. This has been withdrawn at the request of the applicant. So we'll move on to the next item. Item B, 2019-437, public hearing, zoning request Z19-017, rezoning from FC to LC for use as a chiropractor and office, .23 acres, land lot 375, 736 Windy Hill Road, Truster South Incorporated. And this is a public hearing. If there's anybody who wishes to speak on this issue or think you want to speak on this issue, come forward now and be sworn in. Nobody? Okay. This is in Ms. Wilkinson's district. Ms. Wilkinson.
Thank you, Mayor. And with that, I'd like to ask Rusty Martin to come forward and tell us about this rezoning.
Good evening. This is a rezoning case that went to the Planning and Zoning Board on December 9th. They heard this case and made a recommendation for approval by a vote of 7-0. This property is located at 736 Windy Hill Road. The current zoning for the site is future commercial, which is a single-family zoning designation that designates the property for future use, for future commercial use. But you do have to come in and formally apply for that commercial zoning designation. For some reason, the property was never officially rezoned to commercial use, but a business license was issued, and it has operated as a business use for longer than I've been here, so quite a while. With this request, they're requesting to change it from FC to general commercial, which will be the red color that adjoins it to the right, will be carried on this property. So they are proposing to use the site as a chiropractic office, which would be a suitable use under the GC zoning category.
Rusty? Just to clarification, it's not general commercial, limited commercial, correct?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It is limited commercial. I was thinking about another zoning in a similar situation. Yes, it's limited commercial, which is small limited retail uses and boutiques and office space. So a chiropractic office would be allowed in that. And our zoning ordinance is nested, so limited commercial would fall under GC. So, but it's a lighter intensity with respect to the use on the property. The existing property has a future land use designation of community activity center. That future land use designation will not change with this request. It'll remain the same. This is an existing survey of the site. There's the existing building will remain. No improvements are proposed for the site. There's 5 public parking spaces in the back, and then 2 ADA spaces at the front of the property. And then 1 full access driveway at Windy Hill. This is a picture of the subject property, and then pictures of the adjoining properties. Community Development is recommending approval of the change from future commercial to limited commercial for use as a chiropractor office. With that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Rusty? Ms. Wilkinson?
I think that's all, unless no, that's okay.
All right.
Thank you, Rusty. Okay. With that, I'd like to move to approve item 4B, 2019437, zoning request Z19-017, rezoning from FC to LC for use as a chiropractor office. That's .23 acres, land lot 375 at 736 Windy Hill Road, and Truster South Incorporated.
Have a second? All right, all those in favor, please vote. And if y'all don't know, our computers aren't working, so it's going to be a vote by hand. So all those in favor, please vote. Approved 7-0. All right, the next item is 4C. I believe this is going to be tabled. This is 2019-438, zoning request Z19-018, rezoning from R20 to R15, or similar single-family zoning district for the development of 2 single-family homes at a density of 2.22 units per acre, 0.9 acres, land lot 557, 1460 Memory Lane, Reggie Lopez. I'll turn it over to Tim Gould.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're asking to table this application to allow the residents in the area to understand the project a little more clearly, ask some questions of staff and then of the builder. So we appreciate the chance to allow that to happen on the community side. So with that, Mr. Mayor, I move to table item 4C, 2019-438, as previously read. Table it to February 17th council meeting.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please vote. Approved 7-0. All right, item 5 is privileged licenses. We have none. Item 6 is formal business. 6A, 2020-13, approval to award RFP 20-014, speed detection camera system for school zones to Red Speed to install and maintain school zone speed enforcement cameras. Ms. Sadler-Jones, the background, please.
Thank you, Mayor Norton. Good evening, everyone. The City of Smyrna requested proposals from qualified firms to provide speed detection camera system and program for 3 school zones within the city. The school zones were Campbell Middle School, Argyle Elementary, and King Springs campus on Concord Road. 4 firms submitted proposals, and the proposals were scored by staff from the police department, engineering, and purchasing. It is the recommendation of the staff that the project be awarded to Red Speed. Red Speed will install, maintain, and operate all equipment, services, and software necessary for a complete turnkey program. The equipment and monitoring are provided at no cost to the city and is violator-funded program. The intent behind this program is to change driver behavior in our school zones and to make sure that our children are safe. Red Speed will help our police department with all public awareness and education about the objective of speed photo enforcement programs. Deputy Police Chief and Chief David Lee recommend approval, and Deputy Chief Bennett is in attendance and available to address any questions you may have.
Deputy Chief Bennett, you want to come up and talk a little bit about it?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Soon after the beginning of the 2019-2020 school year, there was an overwhelming concern by our children's parents of vehicles speeding in our school zones. I know many of you, as far as in staff and the personnel at our police department, were heavily involved in the analysis of these parents' concerns. During our analysis, what we discovered was there was a pervasive problem of speeding in our school zones. even to the extent that an independent study was performed by one of the companies that did produce a proposal. In one school day, in the span of around 3 hours, there was over 600 violations of vehicles speeding in our school zones, traveling at a speed in excess of 11 miles an hour over the speed limit. We began by analyzing the Campbell Middle School corridor and the speed zone at Campbell Middle School. Once we found that we did have such of a problem, we began analyzing other school zones and found that the problem existed in all of our multi-lane school zone roadways. And again, due to the overwhelming concern in meeting with our citizens, we began researching ways that we could again change driver behavior in these school zones. In 2018, our legislature passed Georgia House Bill 978, giving local authorities the ability to operate speed enforcement devices, photo speed enforcement devices in our school zones. Speaking with other metro jurisdictions, it was found that that was a viable, for us to install these to again attempt to change driver behavior. The RFP was produced, and again, we have the returns from the vendors, and we do believe that Red Speed USA is most advantageous for the city.
These are going to be at 3 locations, right?
Correct. There'll be Campbell Middle School, Atlanta Road, the King Springs campus, Old Brown Elementary School on Concord Road, Argyle Elementary on Spring Road.
And nobody will get a ticket unless they're going over 10 miles.
Correct. 11 miles per hour or over the school zone speed limit.
And there'll be plenty of signage to alert people that these cameras are there, and it'll be about 3 hours a day, just before school, right around that time, and then around the time that they're out of school, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Questions?
Any questions?
Chief, thank you so much for working on this. As you know, it's been such an important issue for all of the city, in particular, a lot of the parents of their kids who walk and bike to school every day on Campbell Road and in their other schools. And such an important thing for us and the council and mayor is to help ensure our roads are safe, that our residents are comfortable walking on the sidewalks, comfortable crossing the streets, and all more importantly in our school zone. So appreciate you working on this. If you could you go through the process? The cameras they'll be installed, and then won't there be about a month notification period where folks may receive a warning?
Correct. After the approval, if the approval is granted, the company will begin working with the state DOT and the school board in order to receive the proper permitting. After the devices are active, there's a 30-day grace period to where any violator will receive a warning citation prior to them actually receiving a notice of violation. So there's a 30-day grace period, and within that 30 days, we do plan on public awareness so that the residents do know that the cameras will be active and on what date they'll be active.
And these are civil fines, right?
That's correct. Driver. There's no points assessed on the driver's license, and it is merely a civil penalty, and that civil penalty is set by state law. First violation, $75. Second and subsequent violation, $125.
In this contract we would enter into, I know we had options to do multi-year, but you're recommending 1 year.
I'm recommending
if it's not working or if there's issues that we could.
Correct. We are recommending the 1 year term on the contract with Red Speed, and within that 1 year, if we find that we have in fact changed driver behavior or there is a problem with the processes, then we can end the obligation after 1 year.
Any other questions, Deputy Chief Bennett? All right, I'm going to let Councilman Gould handle this. He's the chair of the Education Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And again, big thanks to the Smyrna Police Department for taking the lead on this. And it's such really an important issue for our parents, our schools, and all the city. So with that, Mr. Mayor, move to approve item 6A, 2020-13, approval to award RFP 20-014 speed detection camera systems for school zones to Red Speed to install and maintain school zone speed enforcement cameras.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor, please vote. Approved 7-0. Raise your hand higher, Glenn. Item 6B, 2020-48, approval of mid-year budget amendment to reallocate CIP funding. The background, please, Ms. Sadler-Jones.
In the fiscal year 2019 budget, a CIP project was approved in the amount of $30,000 to renovate a portion of Fire Station Number 4. Our Building and Grounds Department, or division rather, is asking to reallocate these funds to complete roofing work at Fire Station Number 3, where it is very urgent. Also in fiscal year 2019, a CIP project was approved in the amount of $130,000 to resurface the parking lot at the police department. The police department and Building and Grounds are asking to include tree removal work and fencing with this project. Fencing is necessary to secure the employee parking lot at the police department, and the tree work is needed since tree roots are causing cracking and buckling in the asphalt. According to the estimates provided by staff, they will be able to complete all work within the adopted budget. Staff recommends approval of the budget amendment as presented.
Thank you. I'll turn this over to Corky Welch, Chair of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As Ms. Sadler-Jones explained, this is simply a reallocation of funds. We have approved the expenditures, but we're sort of changing what we've decided or what we're being recommended to spend the money on. With that, Mr. Mayor, I make a recommendation to approve item 6B 2020-48 for approval of the mid-year budget amendment to reallocate CIP funding.
Have a motion. Have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please vote. Approved 7-0. Item 6C, 2020-37, approval of a subdivision plat for 3880 Ridge Road to subdivide the property into 2 lots, 1.53 acres, land lot 625, 3880 Ridge Road, Mark Combs. And this is in Councilman Gould's district. I don't know if we need background because I think your intention is to table it, correct?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thanks. I'm going to make a motion in a moment to table the item, but first, if I can ask Rusty Martin to come up and explain a little bit about the project and perhaps explain why it's on formal business as compared to looking for a public comment. Thank you.
Yes. There's been some comment about why there wasn't public notification to this specific request. This is a request related to the subdivision of a parcel from 1 parcel to 2 parcels. It's a subdivision of the land. Our subdivision regulations don't require public notification for a public hearing or such because it's not a zoning act, so it's not required to meet Zoning Procedures Act requirements, which would be the yellow signs on site and posting in the MDJ a legal ad, notifying the public a certain day, a minimum 15 days, no more than 45 days out from the public hearing. Since this is not a zoning act, a change in zoning condition or a change to a plan or any of those things that have a zoning requirement as a part of it, it's not required to meet those posting requirements. So it just has to follow the guidelines and procedures set forth in the subdivision regulations, and that just requires that you all review the case or review the plan and the proposed subdivision and make sure that it meets the requirements with respect to stormwater, zoning, and other things. And in this case, it does. So all you would have to do is approve it, and it would move on. It's basically a procedural act at this point.
Okay, thank you. So, and Rusty, to get to this point so far, staff's done quite a bit of work looking at the project. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, we've been working with Mark geez, I don't know how long it's been. I want to say at least 4 to 6 months on this, and he can probably correct me at the next meeting. But, you know, he'd bring in his plan. We'd identify issues that he needs to resolve with respect to drainage ditch and sanitary sewer connection, stormwater connections, all that stuff. He would go back and address our comments, come back, bring them back, and engineering and community development would review the issues again, and we'd have some more comments, and then we finally got to this point to where he meets the code requirements and everything, and we felt it was good to move forward at this point.
Right, okay, thank you. And it is understandable, though, from the residents' perspectives who live nearby, that for folks who don't deal with this every day, they would intuitively expect when there's a quote-unquote a rezoning project, I know this may not fall into that definition, that they would have notification. So there's understandable, there's some confusion about it in the public side. And
yeah, sometimes, you know, the public is not as well versed on this stuff as staff is, because we do it every day. But yeah, I mean, there's technical differences between the two, and that's just where it falls. And you know, sometimes it's hard to understand the difference between a zoning change and just a subdivision of a piece of land.
So, but the technical difference still doesn't, you know, reduce the concern or questions or perhaps even anxiety, for lack of a better word, of surrounding neighbors of potential impact, right? So I think, as you probably agree, that just sharing of the information and answering questions is such a big part of the process that we do just about all the time on our other type of zoning work. So it's I appreciate the willingness of the owner to you know, agree to the delay or the tabling of it and allow us to meet with the residents. We'll meet with the residents on this Friday. We'll have to finalize the location, right, and present the plan, answer questions, and hear their thoughts. So appreciate you making yourself available to do that.
No problem.
With that, Mr. Mayor, move to table item 6C, 2020-13, approval of subdivision plat for 3880 Ridge Road to subdivide the property into 2 lots, 1.53 acres, land lot 625-3880 Ridge Road, owner Mark Combs.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please vote. Approved 7-0. And I'm going to switch things up just for a second. I saw Pete with United Distributors come in. Chief Lee, you want to bring him up? I know, Pete, you probably want to sit through the rest of the meeting, but I think we should recognize you now and then move on with the agenda after.
Better late than never, no.
First time I've been late in a long time.
Well, you know, Pete is the president of United Distributors. He's been with United Distributors 41 years. At their Smyrna facility, they have 770 employees, 1,100. So it just, you know, I know he's busy. This is their budget year, time of the year as well. But you know, their award, part of it is financial for Give Money for Our Shop with our HERO program, where we're able to take underprivileged children to take them Christmas shopping. But Pete volunteers as well and gives his own time. And, you know, for a president of a company as big as United Distributors, you know, that's pretty phenomenal, and we greatly appreciate it. And I tell you what, he's become a good friend of mine in the last 7 years. Pete.
United Distributors has a huge impact on our community, and thank you, Pete, for your help with the public safety. All right, we'll continue on with the agenda. Item 7 is commercial building permits. 7A 2020-36, issuance of a commercial building permit for the construction of a new Regions Bank, 3262 South Cobb Drive, Caliber One Construction, Inc. The background, please, Ms. Adler-Jones.
A commercial building permit was issued at 3262 South Cobb Drive for the construction of a new 1,498 square foot building for Regions Bank. The total estimated cost of the project is $1 million, and Caliber One Construction is listed as the general contractor for the project. Staff recommends approval.
This is in Mr. Lindley's district. Mr. Lindley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Tammy. This is the new Regions Bank in front of the Kroger there at South Cobb Drive and Concord, adjacent to the McDonald's. With that, a motion to approve is presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please vote. Approved 7-0. Item 8 is the consent agenda. Ms. Sadler-Jones, will you please read the consent agenda for council approval?
The consent agenda reads as follows. Item A, approval of the January 2nd, 2020 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. Item B, approval of the January 6, 2020 pre-council meeting minutes. Pardon me. Item C, approval of the January 6, 2020 mayor and council meeting minutes. Item D, approval to purchase a 2019 Ford Transit Connect cargo van, LWB XLT, using asset forfeiture funds at a total cost of $24,307.29 through the Gwinnett County contract number BL088-19 from Wade Ford, 3860 South Cobb Drive, Smyrna, Georgia, 30080. Item E, approval to amend the tow service agreement between Smyrna Police Department and Barrow Enterprises, 2261 Dixie Avenue Southeast, Smyrna, Georgia, 30080, to reflect a new law change as well as fee adjustments that are the result of a new legislation. Item F, approval to use council chambers for Ward 3 neighborhood meeting Sunday, March 15th, 2020 from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please vote. Approved 7-0. All right, next item on the agenda is committee reports. We'll start tonight with Councilman Pickens.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have any committee things to report today, but I would like everyone to know that Councilman Wagner and I are hosting a neighborhood meeting February 4th at 6:30 about the Campbell Road, Spring Road proposed development, and that will be at the fire station on Spring Road.
Okay. Austin Wagner.
Just reiterating the neighborhood meeting, but also I want to remind everyone as we're getting through into this election year to remember to look at your polling places, as we had a few changes here in Smyrna. So go take a look and make sure. I think wards 3, 5, and 6 were the wards that had some changes, but just look at that as we're going through.
Councilmember Lindley.
Yes, sir. No committee report, but as mentioned a moment ago, we'll be holding a Ward 3 neighborhood meeting here at City Hall on March 15th from 4 to 5 p.m. So anybody here this evening or listening in Ward 3, please plan to come. Thank you.
Corky Welch.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Susan Wilkinson.
Thank you, Mayor. I have something to report for the library for Mary Moore. In the Library News, the popular creative writing course, Crafting Compelling Fiction, will be presented one more time starting this Saturday, January 25th. The 4-week course covers plotting, editing, and character development. There are only 4 slots left, so please visit the Lifetime Learning Academy tab on smyrna-library.com for more information. And with that, I yield.
Mr. Tim Gould.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A couple things. First, the mayor and I had a chance to attend the Cobb County Martin Luther King Day celebration on Monday, which was really a remarkable event full of county leaders and some entertainers, but then a really whole full house of residents. So it was a pleasure to be part of that. Mayor had a nice part of the video presentation and had some nice comments. But really a wonderful thing. If you have a chance next year to participate, I'd encourage you to do so. We'll get there early because it fills up fast. Second is Mayor Bacon is being recognized tonight at the Campbell High School basketball games for his extensive work over the years of supporting our schools, and particularly Campbell High School. So it's, as we all know, it's a well-deserved recognition for Mayor Bacon. And then congratulations to our new council members and new mayor in the first full council meeting. Hopefully next time the computer systems
computers
work.
will work next time. Lewis Wheaton.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to make an announcement for all the residents in the city of Smyrna, including Ward 7, obviously. I'm very excited to announce on February 15th, with the support of our mayor, that we're going to be having a Black History Month celebration here in the city at the community center. Look forward to some more information coming out in social media and all sorts of postings here, there, and everywhere. This is going to be a really great opportunity to celebrate together as a community, to have some fun, to get together, learn a little bit, but also enjoy each other in the community some more. A tremendous way to really celebrate the inclusive nature of our communities, to really celebrate what makes people unique and special, and get to learn and grow from each other. So it's a great opportunity, looking forward to it, and you'll be hearing more about it very soon. With that, are you?
Scott Cochran. Ms. Dina? Ms. Heather?
Nothing, sir.
I'll just say real quickly, I am excited about this council and what we're going to accomplish for y'all. This is a great group. I think we're going to do great things for the city. Next item is show cause hearings. We have none. Item 11 is citizen input. We have one citizen who has signed up. Ms. Tanya Brinkley, 1031 Belmont Commons Drive, Smyrna Community Housing, Team Charms. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you. Good evening. And congratulations, Mayor Norton and all council members. I'm here tonight to make sure you all know about Smyrna Charms, which stands for Community Home Ownership, Aging in Place, Rental Affordability, Multicultural, and Sustainability. We are scheduled to present our sophomore progress report at the Georgia Initiative for Community Housing Biannual Retreat in Tifton, Georgia on February 26, 2020, sometime between 9:45 and 11:15 a.m. Normally, the city makes this report. I volunteered to make the report because I realized that you all are just getting underway. City Manager, Ms. Tammy Sandler-Jones, did call me in mid-December. I felt very honored to get that call right before Christmas, and informed me that Charms is on your agenda and is relevant, and that you were deliberating about what to do and when to do. But this thing is coming up. So I know that you all are invested in this work, particularly the city staff I've already been working with, and Ward 5 Representative Susan Wilkinson. And I appreciate her very strong support. As an on-board Smyrna volunteer, I am registered for the retreat, and I'm willing to pay for the accommodations, the travel, the hotel, etc. But facilitated work sessions by Marion Phillips of Georgia Power, where the detailed work is done with Smyrna as a team, will be difficult without our usual team in place. Also, since the 2019 retreat in Douglasville, we have more Smyrna citizens that have been willing and eager to participate, and most of them volunteered at the last Smyrna Volunteer Fair in November, the 3rd, the 2nd. In fact, we only need a volunteer from Ward 1 and 3 to have all wards represented. I have more to discuss if you would meet with me and other Smyrna citizens and current community members. I did brief a potential plan for this February GIC presentation at the November Charms meeting, and one goal of that plan was to have already briefed each of you. Obviously, we haven't done that yet. I'm willing to begin that work with respective ward volunteers as soon as I know the city supports this initiative. And I'm keen to do that because I'd like to report in February in Tifton that we have already done that. But I understand that that may not be possible. So we will adjust in Tifton. Our two main goals as a Smyrna team are affordability for renters and education on housing needs. And as an example of our potential impact, I just want to talk really quickly about Ward 5. The average median income for Smyrna is, I thought it was 85,000. It may be as low as 71,000. There's different reporting agencies on that, but not so quite an average in Ward 5 where I live. We are concerned about current residents getting priced out of their homes, and I'm watching it right now. My ward is full of small brick homes that are rented to residents.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, thank you. Property values have soared here. Across the street from our subdivision on Turner Drive, we've watched renters leave and the owner sold that property. That's not a strange occurrence. However, the issue is the developer bought it and is flipping it for a $200,000 profit. And he explained to me, just as I was driving by, that he plans to do more of the same on Turner Drive. There is an issue that I don't want to see my neighbors displaced, and I want to do the work to advocate that more renters be able to buy homes here and actually afford them. I've witnessed several neighbors move from Belmont Chase subdivision in Ward 5 because they want their children in a better school district. I live about 2 miles from Campbell High School, and I really dislike hearing that. I'm weary of it, and I'm tired of hearing the complaints. I'm willing to do what is necessary to impact this change. I know there are for-profit community development programs with funding that can help us impact that change. Being a GIC member can help us make that impact. I'm grateful for your time tonight and hope we continue to see Smyrna Charms thrive, particularly in February in Tifton. Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, I'll tell you, we are supportive, and
Sure.
thank you so much for your passion and all your work on this issue. You're tireless on it, and we recognize that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you and all of you.
That's the last citizen sign up for input. If there's no more business to be brought before this body. Is there somebody else? Oh, I didn't say. I'm sorry. Bud, come on up. I didn't see. Thank you, Susan. Good evening.
I won't take just a minute or so. I live out at 6 Points. It was known for years up to about 1970. Now it's called 5 Points. But the new roundabout there, they're pretty come a long way with it. But my suggestion is the center part's about a circle about 20 foot diameter is city bring in some topsoil and maybe plant jonquils there. I mean, it's a big right of way coming into the city. I mean, it's got about, Roswell Road's got about half the traffic count of Windy Hill does in the afternoons. I mean, that was my only thing I wanted to bring up.
Good suggestion. Thank you.
All right. Hope y'all do something.
All right. Anybody else out there want to say something? All right. If there's no more business to be brought before this body, adjourn this meeting at 7:57.